Yo, welcome back to another episode of No Cap Podcast, another solo episode. And we're getting back into some world shit going on again, guys. Like, I'm telling y'all, I'm gonna keep posting this type of stuff and car stuff. I'm gonna keep doing it. But yeah, so this is something going on where it has to do with a lot of different things. The farmers are dropping at an alarming rate. All these big companies are buying up all this farmland, which in turn takes all the love and the care out the food, guys. Like, we need food more than AI. So if these corporations are buying up all the farmland and like changing the food, altering the food, putting chemicals in the food, taking up all the water, using it for the data centers, it has to stop, because eventually we're not going to be, there's no way where we as humans will fit in that equation, right? So let's get into this video. I'm going to show y'all what's going on. Bah!
It's shit like Simon says, what I say go, my goods be doing the most.
Well, there's been a state of emergency declared for Louisiana. And why? Because they're actually doing the will of their people. Wait till you hear this story. It's going along with what Florida's doing and Mississippi is talking about. We're going to discuss that, dealing with the Supreme Court. The state of emergency is key. We need more states doing this. Wait till you hear this story. Also, we're going to talk about the farmer's warning. There's a new report that shows that the data centers in California are absorbing all the water. Now, you can say we need these because of AI. Well, to be honest with you, we need farmers because that is our food system. We're in a catch-22 in America. We're going to discuss what's taking place with the farmer. Also, you don't believe the farmer's in a problem? You don't believe this affects you? Wait till you hear the money that our government gives farmers to try to make it every year. Now, I don't agree with fertilizers. I don't agree with helping and subsidizing every farm. I don't believe that's true capitalism. But what it shows is we know we need people growing food, because America would go start in starvation mode without these people. The average farmer is about 55 to 60. There's a lot of problems here. We're going to discuss that. Also, Glenn Beck brings up the same warning, dealing with how to prepare, because food is of the utmost importance. We're going to discuss that. And then lastly, we're going to talk about what just leaked from Alex Jones. There was a new report that shows that we have upgraded and now sent more troops along with new missile capabilities to the Middle East. Are we fixing to see an uptick in this war? And what is our thoughts on that? I'm going to give you my thoughts on the whole situation and what should take place over the coming month. Let's dive in. Now let's jump into the stories of the day. First, let's talk about the state of emergency that was just granted by Louisiana, and then we're going to jump right into the farms. It says, why did Louisiana declare a state of emergency? This state of emergency was to suspend the movement of the primary season because of the redistricting efforts that they're fixing to fix. Now, there's been rumblings that they're starting to kowtow a little bit. This is where we have to stand strong, and Governor Landry in Louisiana needs to stand strong. This bill was brought to the Supreme Court from Louisiana. If you look at Louisiana, I talked about this yesterday, there is a little sliver of a gerrymander going through the middle of the state that catches all the big cities, so they will have representation on the Democrat side. A very wrong approach, and should be just drawn out equally across the state, like any other state should be. There should be no gerrymandering. Republicans are not trying to gerrymander. Republicans are just trying to draw normal district lines, no matter what cities or counties it holds, as long as it has the same amount of people. The problem is the Democrats are wanting to keep this gerrymandered. Now, there's been signs of, well, should we leave a little gerrymandering from Louisiana? No. This state of emergency is what every state should do. Alabama should do. Mississippi should do. Mississippi, it was word that came out today that they were going to do a special session, which is what we're wanting. This is the way. The only way to fix this is do just like DeSantis did, get new redistricting approvals done based on the Supreme Court law, which will allow for Republicans to take over the South, which is what is represented pretty much. Think about the Northeast. Did you know the Northeast states, most of them have 35 to 45% of those states are Republican. But did you know that most of all their representatives are all Democrat? Why? Gerrymandering. So that's why I think it's so important for Republicans to stand strong here. We need Texas to do the same thing. We need these done, and I'm glad to see Louisiana is doing it. Now, I just wanted to mention that. Now, let's jump into the real stories of the day, dealing with the farmer situation and what's going on. I want to talk about how much the farmer is getting from the government and why this is a huge deal. All right, it says, I asked, how much money are we giving to the farmers based on all the government handouts that they're getting? It says the U.S. federal government provides tens of billions of dollars annually to direct payment subsidies and crop insurance support, disaster aid, and conservation programs to farmers. Amounts fluctuate, but based on the farm bills that we have passed, this is where it gets really scary. 2024 was 9.3 billion. 2025 is probably going to be around 30.5 billion once they get it done. 2026 is going to be 44.3 billion. Now, why is this a big deal? We need to ask the question of why are we giving so much money? Because we shouldn't be subsidizing anything. This is monopolizing and really, to me, harming the farmer because it makes people not have true successes and work hard for it because they know the government will back it. So I digress on that aspect. That's a libertarian view. Number two is this actually helping? And number three is this how dependent we are on the farmer because we don't have the food sources that we're needing because most people are tearing up farmlands to build homes instead of actually growing. Are we doing subdivisions and HOAs and not growing food? I want you to listen to this. This is unbelievable. It says the common farmer is over, of course, 35. They said the average age of a farmer is 55 to 60. It says that most farmers are getting out of the business because they can't afford the land tax, the property tax, and also the extra amendments that they're putting into their food. Now, I'm against fertilizer use. I've always said that. I think it's all bad. I'm against herbicide use. I don't do any of that on my farm. And I have a farm. I grow all our own food. 95% of the food that we eat is our food. The other is things that we get that are the most organic choice food that we know every ingredient in. Now, the reason I bring that up is our people in America are so lackadaisical when it comes to the farmer and the importance of food that they think it's always going to be on the shelf. We cannot just think that food is always available and readily available. Yet there is something that you can eat called sustenance, which, to be honest with you, most of the grocery food, it says that 55% of grocery food is not truly food. It's mostly preservatives packed with different flavorings and chemicals to make you believe it's good food. They said quality food is leaving our shelves and it's making us more dependent and sick. Now let's go back to this. It says, if the average farmer is not growing enough food, what happens is the government then subsidizes these farms to grow more. What happens then? Why do you think all these big billionaires are buying all this farmland and then putting some kind of manufacturing processed trash food in manufacturing hubs and we're growing all our food in warehouse dishes? Because they know if the government is subsidizing the farm, they can get subsidized quicker and then still buy the farmland and get all the benefits of being environmentally friendly. So basically, it's a scheme. The farmer is the farm is not making a lot of money. I don't know any farmer that's making a lot of money. Most of them complain. The suicidal rates are absolutely high, and the debt loads and the fact that they lose their land a lot of times to the government, all is bad cases for the farmer. I want you to listen to this farmer that was just interviewed. And this is a Louisiana farmer. It says, the affordability crisis is here. Most of us here don't have the luxury to dream about this anymore. Our reality is unaffordable. The bills add up and you still can't pay the bills from last week. I had a debate whether to drop my health insurance or skip out paying my electric bill. See, this is the reality of farmers. It's amazing we pay people top dollar to dance on TikTok. They make tons of money. We have unions that back the teachers union and all of these government workers. We have all these sports people making tons of money. And yet the farmer who grows your food that allows you to have those conveniences is the one starving. And then the government gives them a certain amount of money and it keeps going higher and higher and higher. Here's the thing though, where's the money going? Most of these farmers are not getting a piece of that, and if it is, it's just enough to get out of starvation mode. Most of them are going to these elite monster companies that are the ones making all this random food, this weird food, this genetically modified food. That's where the money's going. That's where the money's going. I want you to listen to what Glenn Beck just said about food shortages and what's coming. And everybody's like, oh, he's just gaslighting. No, he's not. He's being completely honest. Look at your food prices. If we see food prices and electricity keep going up and starting to rise even more in the summer, it likely won't be probably just inflation and policies of president. It's the fact that we are losing out on water and the things and the necessities to grow the food, and the farmer is leaving the farm. It says we are possibly seeing a mega drought cycle. Now, we're seeing droughts all over. Now, in Mississippi, we're considered a drought. Now, I'll be honest with you. We've had good rains, and if you're a regenerative farm like me that rotate their animals, my pastures and my gardens look lush. But now that won't be forever if all of a sudden the rain stops. Now, what's even worse is when the groundwater is taken from the ground. That leads me to this story. Now, Glenn Beck is saying prepare and stock food because we're going to see drought periods that are taking place. But what if you don't see droughts? Everybody's like, oh, that's just fake news. Listen to this story right here. Because drought may come in a different way. Water shortages may come in a different way. Listen to this. California data centers boom. But guess what? It puts water supplies under major pressure. The new report says that AI data centers in California could use up to 750,000 gallons of water per day. Not month, not week, day. The water is mainly used to cool larger servers facilities powering AI systems. This expansion raises concerns on places that already have drought-tolerant problems, drought-prone problems, and states that in the West that have these conditions that need their water in the ground. The reservoirs are becoming empty, and crops will not grow. Now, here's where you have to ask yourself. Elon Musk and most of your leaders are banking that technology will get us out of this depression recession problem that we're having with our debt. At the same time, they're hoping that's what brings us out of that. With more data, with more problems with the grid, with more AI capabilities, we're going to need more pressure on the grid, which is going to need more data servers and centers, which is going to take more water from the ground, which is going to harm the farms even more. So what's to take place? More subsidies? Are we going to have $100 billion given to farmers and to give them big, these big commercial growing operations? What are we going to do? Because I'll be honest with you, I work 7 days a week on my farm. I milk cows at 4 a.m. in the morning. It's flooding outside, and I'm going out there to do that. Now, I'm not complaining. What I'm saying is there's not a lot of Americans that's doing that right now, that's willing to give their afternoons and evenings, their mornings, their Saturdays up to plant. They'll say, oh, that's for someone else. I'm going golfing. I'm going shopping. I'm looking at TikTok. They have no value in how their food is grown. We've been so selfish and so convenient for so long that we don't realize the food shortage is right among us, and the junk you're eating in the store is not really food. If you can't have simple ingredients that your grandmother would have known what that is in the box that you're buying, it's not food. Just because it's on the shelf and says it's food and sustenance, I don't think that's what actually food is. Real food is skyrocketing in price. And it's no joke anymore. Shortages are coming. And then on top of that, water. Water is key to life. It's needed not only for farms, now it's needed for AI technology. Now it's needed for all these other things. Then, you remember what the globalists said with the World Economic Forum? That says water is not a free ride anymore. We're going to make it where it's owned. And you only get provisions. You have to purchase your use. Kind of sounds like we don't own anything, do we? Water catchment, not allowed. However, data centers can catch the water. So you can't in most of these states, but the data centers can. So who's really in charge? The farmer. Your food is the one that's going to struggle. Here's the thing. This is what upsets me the most. Instead of your Congress and Senate working for you, we're wanting redistricting, we're wanting them to do something for us. They passed a bill yesterday that John Fetterman brought up, and they're so happy. I mean, like 90% of the people in the Senate and Congress, they voted for this to go into law. They were so worried. It says U.S. House passes Fetterman bill for SNAP to cover those hot rotisserie chickens at Walmart and at Costco and at Sam's. That's what they were worried about. They weren't worried about the farmer. They weren't worried about all your food. They just wanted to make sure that SNAP, that your government can cover people wanting to buy rotisserie chickens so they can have it with their Doritos and have it with their soft drinks and have it with all the other junk that they are allowed to buy on government subsidies. That's what they voted on yesterday. So that $5 chicken, that is the rotisserie chicken sitting in there, that SNAP can purchase it. So I have to buy everybody else's chicken, even though I don't buy that chicken. I have to buy everybody else's chicken for them under government subsidies. And that's what your Senate's working on instead of actually helping out the farmer. Throwing money at the farm is not helping the farm. Letting them have their water and taking property tax off of them and all the amendment costs off of them, that is actually how you help the farm. Not throwing money at them. Because the more money you throw at them, they still have to buy the same stuff, and they're still in the same regulatory bodies that they've been under, that's been under making them in the prison they're in. Release the regulation. Let the farmer sell to the local people. Let the farmer not have the red tape to butcher and slaughter on their farm. Then you will see the regenerate come back to the farm. We will regenerate farming industry. Not to have multi-scales to sell to eco-diesel. And truly, do we need some kind of corn ethanol? No. It's just a farce. Think if we were using all that land to actually grow farm food in the healthy way, and you took the regulation and property tax off those farms, that's what the government should do. Not overtax and then throw the money back at them. Because a lot of that's filtering to other places, if you know what I mean. Now let's go to one more story dealing with a new red alert that just came out for the world. Listen, this is from Alex Jones. It actually says that Trump has ordered the military to prepare for a ground invasion of Iran's Strait of Hormuz. It's already shown that they are sending more hypersonic missiles along with more invasion troops over to Iran. Now, my thought is this has got to end within the next few days and few weeks. If it does not, and you get Congress involved to declare a emergency, that allows them to make more money, and they declare war, what they're going to do is make this a forever war, which Trump didn't want. Trump does not need to get Congress involved in this, and he needs to finish this war out. Go ahead and annihilate the threat, get done, and finalize a deal. If this RGC stays in power, though, I don't think they're going to get a real good deal. I think it's going to make us look weak if we pull out. So if we're upscaling, let's go ahead and finish. Now, there was a report, just again, alleged report, that the military general said that we're preparing for kind of what they call the last strike, to destroy so much that they won't be able to be stable anymore. Iran has only got a month's worth of fuel, they said, left, so they can hold out another month, and we don't need that. We've got to bring that timeline up if that's what the case is. Now, here's my thoughts. If we see this go any further than just a few weeks, you're going to roll into a forever war, or you're going to roll into prices that we can't have affordable for midterms and also for the presidency of 2028. We do not need to become the party of war again. What we need to do is solve the problem, get in, get out, and be done. I'm going to wrap this video up in one way. We're in serious problem. We know that. We have wars. There was 416 more women and children kidnapped in Africa, yet no stories are on. And they're literally taking the lives of those people. Christians. No one talks about. We're worried about rotisserie chickens. You know what else? I thought this was so good from a gentleman that's dying, Ben Sass, who has got pancreatic cancer. And, he's been under all this new innovative things, but he's been making podcast rounds. And I love what he said right here. And I didn't even like Ben Sass as a Republican. I think he was a little weak. But the words of a dying man, I want you to listen to this. And I thought this was so good. He said, the sad things are the United States are not caring about family anymore. We stopped making babies, and we're worried about the phones and having a dopamine hit of playing Candy Crush and other apps on our phone. He said, we need to become human again and build the family and have children once more. My wife was taking our children somewhere yesterday, and it was kind of an event for kids, but she went. I said, well, how many parents were there? And she said, no, there wasn't a lot of parents there because they almost use it as a babysitting to not be with their kids. And it is so sad to me that we've taken the value of family away. That's why the family farm and building the family up, those two things we're losing, and that's going to destroy America. We have to bring back the importance of family. Father, mother in homes, husband, wife loving each other, raising their children, not the government raising them, not the food system raising them from Walmart, but raising our children at home, understanding the importance of farming, of food, of water, of skills, and of course love. We need to go back to that. Our main initiative in life should not be worrying about what our phone says, what person is dancing on TikTok, even what our politicians are trying to do. It should be building up our family, uplifting our family, taking our family to church, and realizing who God is in our life, and trying to do all we can to prepare for harder times, because times like that come. There's never been a time in our history that we've went several years without some kind of major hiccup. Name it. You can call the Roaring 20s, ended with the Depression. You can talk about the booming 50s, ended with more war. There's never a time that we didn't go through hardship. And we're in a generation now that we don't understand how to deal with hardship. We don't understand how to deal with debt. We don't even understand how to balance a checkbook. And I go back to the family and the farm. When you take that away and you don't find importance in that, that's when you're going to see the destruction of America. Guys, let me know your thoughts on today's video. Go back and check out yesterday's video. Such a good video because it talks about something they're wanting to put in you. Chip, Mark of the Beast kind of thing. Let me know your thoughts on today's video. God bless.
All right, guys. So yeah, I mean, I he's kind of hitting everything spot on. I mean, except for like I said, I'm not a political figure at all, but I still think all of this stuff is on purpose, right? Like I don't believe Trump is trying to do whatever, but I just don't know. The politics stuff is kind of like, it sounds good, right? It sounds real good, but it's never the case really. So that's that. And yeah, but we're going in a shortage of everything, dude. Like he's not wrong about the food. The food's not real. You can taste the food not being legit. Like the food don't even taste the same, nor does it last as long. And it's like, yeah, okay. A couple days ago, I went to Winco at like 4 a.m. It's a grocery store. It's like a Costco, right? Spent $230. I brought 2 like main meals. Like I brought enough things to make 2 like different meals, right? Like one's like a Mexican Mexican bowl. So that's like mostly vegetables. So vegetables are cheaper, right? And then to make spaghetti, bro. Spent $230 in a bag of dog food. And like that was it. Nothing crazy, right? I was like, bro, there's no way. So I definitely understand what he's saying. We've run from anything hard, bro. People will trade in convenience for like every time. Like, oh yeah, you know what? I'll just pay to get someone to do that. Or, that's too hard, so I won't do it. Or I'll ask Chat GPT. It's like, bro, just learn how to do it. That shit doesn't take that long. But yeah, so that's the video for tonight. It is nighttime now. I just wanted to get back to it. You know what I'm saying? We're so close to getting, I think, 5 almost consecutive videos back to back to back to back. So we're working on it, right? Baby steps. I don't know what we're going to talk about tomorrow because there's a lot of things I do want to talk about, but we're going to get into it. I'll tap back in with y'all. Peace.